What's up, Kings? It's Keefe. In this video, we're going over 5 ways you can make $5,000 a month in your 20s. Now, the goal of this video isn't to give you your dream job. The goal of this video is to help you find that bridge to whatever it is in your future, because there's a lot of guys out there who they really just don't know what the heck they want to do with their lives, or maybe they have this dream they want to follow, but it's just not time, and that needs to be built over time. So pretty much what these career opportunities are bridges. So you can figure out what you want to do. And if you decide you want to do one of these things moving forward, great. But if not, basically, you're going to put yourself in a spot where you're going to get something you can get quickly done. This is not going to require a college degree. It's going to give you skills that are not only valuable for the direct job you're doing, but will be valuable for other things you might do in life, other career paths, or just general life skills. And it's also basically going to put you in a place where you can be financially independent and secure while you determine what it is you want to do with your future. Now, before we get into that, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and bell icon so you don't miss new videos. Now let's get into it. Now, before we get into these 5 ways, I want to give you guys a mindset shift that I think is really important before we start in this video. And in all honesty, I'm talking to myself a couple years ago when I say all this stuff. You see, what we're talking about here is not necessarily picking your lifelong career. I think a lot of times guys don't really start doing something because they don't either like the long-term outcome, or they feel like getting a result is going to take too long, whatever it is. So they never get started with anything. And I think there's a lot of guys in their 20s who are kind of in limbo because they don't pick anything, because what they want, it is not like available to them immediately. It's not going to pay them the money they want, or it just doesn't sound appealing to do that. And so they get this idea, I got to do this for the rest of my life or whatever. And this is a mistake I made, and it really kind of screwed me up because I didn't simply look at careers as maybe a bridge to the next thing, okay? And that's really all you need to do at this point. If you're in your 20s right now, or maybe even a little bit younger, whatever it is, really look at these career opportunities with the mindset of, okay, this is a bridge and the next step. This is an opportunity for me to put myself in a better position, okay? Because here's what a lot of guys end up doing is they kind of just hang out at their parents' house because they don't really have a plan. And I made this mistake, and that's why I'm telling you, like, if I had known what I'm going to share with you in this video at 18, I think I would be like seriously doing really well financially, because not only would I have started making more money quicker, but I also would have been in a better financial place to invest in the things I wanted to do with my life. I would have had more money from the start to invest in my YouTube channel, or back when I was doing online fitness coaching, when I wanted to try that, I would have had more money to invest in, advertising, someone to help me with the sales pages, someone to mentor me on building a business, all these things. And I didn't have it because I didn't put myself in a good financial spot early on. So really, again, the mindset for these careers are, hey, maybe there's something I'll like for the future, and in which case I picked 5 things that are primarily based around, again, skills that you could have that are really beneficial for your life. There are also things you can get done quickly. Usually within a year, you can be employed and doing well financially with these things. And there are also things that they're not going to take up all of your time. They're not some crazy job that's going to make you work nights and weekends and all this stuff. So it's something that is very structured, so you can make a plan for your life. You can have other parts of your life while you figure the rest of it out. And if you decide you like the certain career path, you can keep doing it, because they're all very scalable and you can make really great money if you decide it's something you like. But the key with this is to have the mindset of just going with the next best step. If you're a guy right now who really doesn't know what the heck to do, just pick one of these 5 and get started. Because I guarantee you, making $60,000 a year, having your own place, and ability to buy a decent car, and like kind of feeling pretty good about yourself like a productive member of society, is a lot better place to be than having no damn clue on your parents' couch, honestly. So take the next step, then figure the next thing out, okay? Makes sense? Now, let's get into it with number 1. So the first one is getting your real estate license. And I say real estate license rather than just being a real estate agent, because there's a lot you can do with a real estate license. I got mine at 21 years old, and I don't directly use my license anymore, but the skills I got through the time I did use it have been really valuable for me today. But some of the ways you can do is real estate, because guys, the real estate industry, and I know this since I've been around it, is really evolving right now because of technology, and a lot of different companies are coming in and shaking up the way the industry works. And whereas when I started in real estate, it was still for the most part kind of a model of At least for the most part. It was basically a model where like being a real estate agent was kind of like running your own business. Like you had to go generate your own leads most of the time, or you had to pay someone to do it for you. You had to figure out how to do your sales. You had to do advertising, marketing. Like you had to run basically everything, or hire somebody to do like different parts for you. Whereas real estate is becoming a little bit more of like employment based right now. There's a lot more opportunities popping up where you can work as a showing agent, which basically means rather than having to do the entire real estate process, you basically just show people properties and you'll get paid a salary, maybe $2,000 to $5,000 a month, depending on how much you're doing, somewhere in that range. And you just show people properties. You got to have the license, obviously, and do all that stuff, so you have to pass the test. But that's a really good entry spot. You can also do things like property management jobs. You'll have to start as an assistant property manager, but after that, you can work up. Usually within a year or two, you might be able to make $60,000, $70,000 a year, somewhere in that ballpark. You can also work as a real estate agent for a company where they'll generate you the leads, and they'll basically do everything for you except for the responsibility of going and actually closing the deal, putting your name on the listing, and all that stuff. Obviously, you're not going to get as great of a commission if you do that, but a lot of these people will make $100,000 in their first year, and these places will have in-house training and basically provide everything for you. So if you get the license, you can just step right into that, get a bunch of quality leads, and get rolling. You can also work as a buyer's agent, which is where you're on a team where leads are provided to you and you just work with buyers. And again, it's going to be a similar situation to that. You can make good money. So this is something where, I mean, the license takes about 6 months to get. You're really going to have to study hard for that. But after that, there's a lot of opportunities that open up to you when you do this. So I would recommend, if this is something you're considering, if you really don't know what you want to do with your life right now, maybe this is a good place to start, because it'll just open some doors for you. And then after that, maybe start with doing showing agent or working for a company where the leads are provided for you and you learn sales skills through that, which sales is such an incredibly valuable skill to have. And maybe you decide, you know what, I really do like this. All right, well then take it full time yourself. Take it all on yourself. Become a more independent agent, because some of the most wealthy people I know are real estate agents. I know somebody who I worked with, he was a mentor to me. He's making $60,000 a month, and he's in the real estate industry. He's partly an agent still, but he runs an entire team. But that's something you can do once you get a real estate license. But there's a lot of opportunities that open up to you when you do this. Again, starting with the smaller stuff, immediately being able to make that cash and then make a good decision for yourself about the future. You're not going to have to go into debt for this. It's a really great place if you're kind of like not sure what you want to do. The second one I got on here is becoming a computer programmer. The median average for that is about $75,000 a year. And from my experience, that's pretty accurate, because the people I know, that's what they're getting paid, around 80 to 70K in that ballpark. And you just need to learn how to computer code and program and all that. I'm honestly not a computer guy, so I can't give you crazy strict details, but basically I know guys who do this. One of my closest friend actually did this. Basically, he took a class on learning how to do the computer coding. Then he pretty much had to build some websites to prove that he knew what the heck he was doing. And then that was his resume. He didn't need to say he went to a 4-year school. It took about 6 months for the classes, and then it took him about 6 months to build all of his websites and all that stuff, and he gets a good job. This is a really good thing to consider if you're kind of like, you have a long-term vision for your life. This is also a really great thing if you don't, because there's so much growth opportunity in the computer industry. But the way I see this is kind of a good idea if you're thinking about this is, let's say you got some vision or some dream thing you really want to do with your life. Maybe you want to run a YouTube channel, or you want to like start your own business, whatever it is. Well, by doing a job like this, most of the time this job is going to be work from home at this point, thanks to the COVID shit. It's also going to be typically on that 9 to 5 structure. It's usually salaried. So you're going to start the job, know what you're going to get paid, know your hours. So it's very predictable and structured, so you can build a life around it. There's also a lot of growth opportunities if you decide that it is something you want to continue to pursue. People are hiring for it. This is a really great opportunity if you don't know what to do. And I know, I totally understand if you're not like for me, I'm not really big on computer coding and programming. I've been surprised to find out that some of my friends who didn't think they were gonna be big on it ended up liking it once they got it started. It's very much a problem-solving kind of job, pretty much. So you might actually find that you enjoy it, but honestly, again, think practically. We're not looking for your dream job here. If you really have no plan or you need a stepping stone to get to the next thing, making $75,000, $80,000 a year work from home is a pretty solid stepping stone to whatever the next big thing is you want to do in your life. Third thing I got on here is general sales. I put general sales just kind of like basically the sales industry, working in sales. Okay. And so every company needs salespeople. Depending on where you are, like what company you're in, what industry you're in, you can get paid tons of money as a salesperson. You can make hundreds of thousands of dollars without any special certifications or criteria. You just got to know how to sell. So you'll have to teach yourself the skill of sales, but sales is a really, really valuable skill to learn anyways. And if you get around other people who know how to sell, you'll start to soak some of that in. Now, the thing about this industry is it's typically pretty sink or swim, okay? Now, some companies, they might give you a base salary as well and offer different training, but a lot of times, depending on the industry, it's very sink or swim. It's commission based. You're not getting paid anything else. So if you don't make it work, the company's not really out anything. So they're not that concerned. So you need to have that mindset, but it's going to teach you a lot of valuable things. I am in the sales industry, and that's just because that's kind of my personality. I have sales experience, but I'm telling you, it's something where I've gained so much valuable, life experience from doing this, from having to learn how to negotiate, persuade people to do things, asking for a sale, being comfortable with rejection, all these kinds of things, and kind of just getting on that goal-oriented mindset, whereas a lot of people are kind of just, give me my next 2-week check, and the next 2-week check. Sales is something where your income is unlimited, your potential is unlimited in that sense most of the time. So it's really just about setting goals, going after them. You might make nothing, you might make a crap ton of money. It just kind of depends. So if that's your mentality and you're thinking maybe for a couple years while you don't know what you want to do, you just want to make a crap ton of money, well, learn sales skills and get into the sales industry. Try to find your way into something that can pay pretty good. You might want to start with the car industry, to be honest. A lot of times I think you can get into selling cars at a car dealership without much experience beforehand, and you can make $100,000 if you're pretty good at doing that, depending on where. I mean, if you're at some shitty used car lot, you're probably not. But if you're at a good dealership, you can make $100,000 in the car industry, and then you can pivot into something that might pay you even more from there. And it's certainly a good place to start, right? That's certainly better than, again, staying on your parents' couch. Fourth one I got here is the IT industry. Now, this is information technology. It's pretty similar to computer programming, as in it's in that same kind of technology and computers and all that kind of stuff, but it's different in what you do within that industry, right? So there's a lot of different career opportunities on there. The reason I put this on here in particular is because working in this industry has a lower barrier to entry than going and being a computer programmer strictly, okay? Because in this, let's say you don't really care as much about making the 80, 75K as much, and you want to go ahead and start making some money because you're living on your parents' couch right now. It's I just want to get out of the house as quick as I can, make some money, and I'll figure things out from there. Well, this would be probably a better fit for you than computer programming, because you could probably be making about 45K in about 3 months, and obviously this thing can scale. I know somebody who's in his late 20s making about $150,000 a year off IT certificates. He just went and learned what he needed to learn to get the job he wanted to get, and you don't necessarily need a degree to do this. I recommend a site called Pluralsight, where you can go take the courses, and then you take those courses. After you learn the information, you go apply to take a test, and after you take the test, you can go be certified to do a certain job in the IT industry. And the fifth and final one is personal training. This is something that I really do wish I had done when I was 18 years old. In hindsight, I think that would have been a great idea for me to do. And I think, again, in hindsight, it would have been a great idea for me to do this when I was getting my real estate license, because those two would work so well together. Because as a personal trainer, you're going to have all this clientele. Usually you're going to have some decent money. You're going to be networking. That'd be a great opportunity to get some real estate business. So I do really wish I'd done that in hindsight. Oh, well, didn't know to do it at the time. But just saying, take my advice now, because, again, I really think I would have a bunch of money if I had it all to do over again. But anyways, personal training is a great thing, I think, because it kills two birds with one stone. If you're watching my channel right now, most likely you're the kind of guy who wants to get his crap together and be a high value kind of dude who's doing something with his life. Okay, so part of that is you need to get your body right. So let's say you're a guy who's 17, 18, 19, 20 watching this video. You're trying to figure out what the heck you want to do with your life. and you want to be something like a high value guy, you want to be worth a damn in this world, well, go get a personal training certificate. You'll learn about nutrition, you'll learn about exercise, you'll learn how the body works. You can then take that, apply it to yourself, get in better shape, and get paid to show other people how to do it as well. And when you're 18, 19 something years old, it's really like $45,000 a year as a starting salary. Like, I mean, it's a sales position, so you would have to get paid that through like selling training packages, but there is a base salary as well. But that's kind of like a general expectation you could make in your first year. That's like pretty good at 19 years old. Nobody's going to be knocking you for that. That's a good start to things. And this thing can scale. You're also going to be in a social situation where people are also a little more health conscious. So you're going to be a little more health conscious, which means you're going to get your body right while you get your money right a little bit. Also, it's going to be a pretty fun environment if you like working out and like physical stuff. You're probably going to have a decent social circle doing this. And again, this is one of these things that's really scalable, or it's also something that you also have a lot of flexibility in. So you can go and pursue the other parts of your life that you want to pursue. And also, as I mentioned, guys, this is something that's scalable. When I was doing online fitness coaching, I knew guys who were making $20,000 a month in the online fitness coaching space. They'd started as local trainers. They'd shifted their business online. They'd learned how to scale it and all this stuff. It's pretty doable to do, honestly. Now, if you got something out of this video, guys, give me a like, hit the subscribe button and bell icon so you don't miss new videos, and check out this video right here. It'll go along really well with it. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you later.